Wow, I can believe it's happened, but this is unbelievable. Juan Soto, one of the best players in the entire league, only 23 years of age, has just been traded from the Washington Nationals along with Josh Bell to the San Diego Padres in exchange for a big haul back. You got Mackenzie Gore, Robert Hassell III, CJ Abrams, James Wood, Jarlin Susana, and one more major league player. The only holdup right now is the agreed upon deal, which is going to be who that last player is. But Juan Soto is now a San Diego Padre along with Josh Bell, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, I've done this before in videos. I'm currently standing up because my setup's a bit of a mess with the new move-in and the fact that the light is, it's right over there. And if I'm sitting down normally, I'm completely washed out. But stand up, San Diego. Stand up. This is an incredible trade. While you did give up a lot, you got Juan Soto. I mean, Juan Soto is 23 years old and one of the best players in the entire league. I mean, we are talking about a guy who is doing stuff Ted Williams like, Mickey Mantle like. He is just simply on the path to be one of the best players of all time. At such a young age, he has been doing incredible things. I feel like the only relatively comparable players that have ever been moved or something like this is like A-Rod, right? Or maybe it's got to be A-Rod, I assume is the biggest talent that's been moved similar to this at a young age. But even then, it's so insane. It's so insane that Juan Soto has just been traded from the Washington Nationals to the San Diego Padres. I'm going to go in depth into everything here, but just real quick, because this is something I tweeted out. Imagine being a Washington Nationals fan. Like, you have the high of winning the World Series, but in the last few years, you've lost out on having Bryce Harper be a lifetime Washington National, having Juan Soto be a lifetime Washington National. You trade away Max Scherzer. You trade away Trey Turner. You got rid of Anthony Rendon. He's no longer on the team. I'm sure there's other guys I'm thinking of, but you're just talking about 5 absolute studs that were on your team that are no longer on the team. It's just the one guy they chose to pay is Steven Strasburg. You feel bad for them because Strasburg has basically not pitched since signing that contract. It's so bad in Washington right now. I feel really bad for those fans. I also don't because you won a World Series recently, but my goodness, what an insane day. I'm actually getting ready to head to Washington right now. I'm going down there to see Jacob deGrom start against the Nats tonight with my co-host of the Mets Up podcast, James, as well as Jolly Olive of the John Boy Media Group over there and the Shea Station podcast. We're going to go do some content out there, which is going to be insane, but no Juan Soto, no Josh Bell certainly helps make this lineup a little bit easier to handle. I can't believe this. I'm still checking my phone because there are updates every single second here because obviously this is one of the biggest trades that we have ever seen involving one of the biggest players, one of the most talented players that we've ever seen. The fact that this is crazy. Hold on. I got to answer this phone call. My girlfriend's calling me. Yeah, sorry, Anna. I have to talk about Juan Soto being traded to the San Diego Padres. This takes precedent right now. This doesn't happen too often. I don't get to talk standing up, screaming at the camera like this too often. Usually it's Mets trades. And granted, this one, as a Mets fan, I'm not glad that the San Diego Padres have now become a really scary team in the National League. Someone we're going to have to compete with in the playoffs. Someone who we've struggled with already this year. But man, when Juan Soto, a guy who's 23 years old, gets traded, what's so funny is that Juan Soto, I heard this stat last night, Juan Soto is younger than the top Nationals prospect in their system, Cade Cavalli, which is like laugh out loud funny. He's younger than Adley Rutschman, and right now, I know he's not younger than Robert Hassell. I don't believe he's younger than CJ Abrams too, but I'm fairly confident he's younger than Mackenzie Gore, which is one of the main pieces going over in this trade. Like, you just don't find this talent. Okay, Mackenzie Gore turned 23, so he's a little bit older than Mackenzie Gore, but still, you just don't find talent. You don't find the power, the plate discipline, the absolute just sheer ability that you get in Juan Soto too often. He is one of the best players in the league, and he just got traded for a big haul back, but honestly, it's nothing. This is something that I've talked about a lot on my Mets podcast, and this is just a thought that I've had in general. I would trade almost. I would trade anything for Juan Soto. I would trade anything, especially if you're going to be able to keep him long-term, if you're going to be able to sign that contract extension. I would trade anything. There's nothing that is untouchable for a guy who's 23 years old, basically one of the 3 best players in the league right now. Like, how do you not make this trade? Shout out to the San Diego Padres. They've been having this incredibly stacked farm system for years now. They've been developing players extremely well, and this is the big trade that might be the final piece of the pie to them becoming World Series champions in 2022. Because honestly, once I heard the Soto rumors were going to the San Diego Padres, I hopped on DraftKings Sportsbook. This is not even an ad. I know they're a sponsor, but I hopped on Sportsbook. And I bet that the Padres would win the World Series because at plus 2,000 with Juan Soto possibly coming to that team, I mean, it's absolutely loaded. Plus, you're adding Josh Bell to that lineup. Josh Bell has been so incredibly good. That's going to be the sneaky, underrated pickup in this trade, is that now you go from having Eric Homser play every single day at first base and or DH, whatever you're going to do there. I guess Luke Voigt's been DHing a lot too, but you throw Josh Bell into that lineup. When Tatis is healthy, it seems like he's coming back soon, you have a top 4 of Tatis, Soto, Machado, Josh Bell. That is absolutely disgusting. Not to mention you have Jake Cronenworth in that lineup. Jerkson Profar has been pretty good this year. The team is a heck of a lot better, and it feels like the Padres are trying to get more. We saw them get Josh Hader yesterday. They signed Joe Musgrove, I believe, to an extension. Their pitching's been really solid all year long. Like, this Padres team, I'm salivating at the mouth. I mean, this team is really, really good with Juan Soto and Josh Bell on. I mean, just with Josh Bell, it's an improvement. That's like hey, the Padres are going to be really tough to beat now. And now they get Juan Soto, one of the best players in the league. You're like, oh, they're one of the best teams in baseball. I mean, God, they got Juan Soto for prospects and CJ Abrams and Mackenzie Gore. Like, so it's really hard because I'm pretending like they gave up nothing, right? Of course they didn't. These prospects are good, but you give up anything for Juan Soto. The dude is a generational talent. He's 23 years old. The talent is through the roof. He's so good. You know this. I don't need to keep repeating myself, but you give up anything. That being said, I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. I don't know if anybody can actually give you enough to get Juan Soto. And you got Josh Bell. Like, that's crazy to me that for Mackenzie Gore, CJ Abrams, Robert Hassell, James Wood, Jarlin Susana, and apparently another player, you got not only Juan Soto, but Josh Bell. Like, that alone for Juan Soto was probably still not necessarily enough. Oh, man, I need to take a deep breath. I've been ranting and raving now for 7 straight minutes. I don't know how many cuts I'm going to put in this. I kind of want to just go off the cuff here because I do have to leave shortly, and I want to get this video out. But my goodness, and like this is so big. Again, San Diego, stand up, clap. You've seen the meme of me saying that. Stand up, San Diego. Clap it up, San Diego. This is the big move. You guys are officially all in. Josh Hader, Juan Soto in the span of 24 hours, and Josh Bell. How could I forget it? This is an incredibly dangerous San Diego Padres team. I don't know if they can win the division just because of the separation between the Dodgers, but that's not a team that I want to face in the playoffs. I said that about the Mariners. I've said it about other teams. I want to avoid the Padres at all costs. They might be the team that I want to avoid the most right now, just because their starting pitching is really solid. They got Josh Hader in the bullpen, which helps that bullpen out a ton, and you just added Juan Soto and Josh Bell to a team that hasn't had Tatis all year and has been really good with Manny Machado. Like, what is this roster? AJ Preller and the Padres are playing fantasy baseball. They're playing MLB The Show franchise. That's like actually what just happened. Okay, so now let me talk about what the Nationals got back. Nationals fans, I'm sorry. Like I said, this sucks. This is now like the second generational talent you've had that doesn't end up getting a lifetime contract with you guys. It's crazy. But that being said, there are some good pieces coming back here. Mackenzie Gore, 23-year-old left-handed pitcher who's had some success at the major league level this year. He's still very young. He's still very talented and a very good-looking pitcher for the future. This is a guy who can be a frontline starter in your rotation for years to come. I really do like this pickup of Mackenzie Gore. I'm just really interested to see what his development turns like into Washington because they haven't been great with pitching prospects recently. They just haven't done a very good job, but he's got good stuff. He's very talented. CJ Abrams, a guy who a lot of people, if he didn't get called up this year, he would have probably been the number 1 prospect in all the minors. A really incredible athlete. And normally when you hear that, you think like, oh, okay, what's wrong with him? Not really anything. You want to see him hit for a little bit more power. He is a little bit of a string bean right now. He's a little bit thin, but he's a sick athlete. Really good bat-to-ball skills, and incredible. He could play shortstop. He could play center field. He could play a lot of different positions extremely well. He's such a sick athlete, and he's I think 21 years old. He's super young. He got Major League time already this year. Hasn't been great. He's going to be able to be in Washington. It's going to basically be his and Mackenzie Gore's team right now. I like those two in terms of Major League ready young talents that the Nationals could mold into some really good players. These are guys that people around the league had a lot of great things to say about when they were in the Padres organization, so it would be hypocritical now that they were traded for Juan Soto to be like, well, I don't like them that much. No, they're good. I like these players. Robert Hassell III, though, and James Wood, those are the two guys that I like the most. Now, again, it's prospects. You always trade prospects for bona fide stars. That's what the Padres did. You make this trade 1,000 out of 1,000 times. It literally doesn't matter what happens to Juan Soto. It literally doesn't matter what happens to these guys on the Nationals. On paper, today, which is when they're making the trade, you make that trade every single time. But I do love Robert Hassell III. I think Robert Hassell III has the chance to be that next big great outfielder in the Washington Nationals farm system. He's been incredible out in San Diego in their farm system. He's been so good. He was a top 10 pick in the draft a few years ago, back in 2020 during the COVID season, and he was someone who was one of my favorite players in the entire draft, one of my highest ranked players, because I really do think the ceiling on Robert Hassell is extremely high. He's starting to hit for more power. He's an incredible athlete. He can probably stick in center field for the foreseeable future. Everything that you like in baseball players, Robert Hassell III has. He is just straight up one of the best prospects in all of Major League Baseball. I believe that 100%. That's a personal opinion. Rankings say otherwise. I really do think Robert Hassell III is just one of the best talented players, or most talented young players in all the minor leagues. And then with James Wood. James Wood is a freak. He's like 6'7". He's a massive human being. He runs like a gazelle. He's a really good athlete, plays the outfield, maybe moves to first base at some point just because of the size. It's going to be tough to be that big and stay in the outfield. That being said, though, we've seen it done before, and it probably will happen again. Could be with James Wood because he is that talented athletically, and he has been really, really good in the minors. He's shown great plate discipline. He's got incredible pop. I mean, there's a viral clip that, if I can find it, I'll put it in here, that you've probably seen on Twitter from a few years ago, him hitting a mammoth home run with a wood bat as a high schooler. The dude's talent and ceiling is through the roof. He's really, really good, super young, was drafted last year out of high school. So I really, really like James Wood. He is another one of my favorite prospects in the entire minor league system. He's just got a really, really high ceiling, which that's good to see that the Nationals are getting that. They're going after these guys who could be the next great outfielders in that system. Those four, really, really good. Is it enough for Juan Soto? No, but is it a decent haul back? Like, yes, it's that weird in-between back and forth. Like, you should have to give up way more for Juan Soto because it's Juan Soto. He's 23 years old. He's 2 years older than CJ Abrams, and he's had MVP seasons. He's basically the same age as Mackenzie Gore. He's had MVP seasons. He's so good. He's going to be a free agent in 2 years at like the age of 26. It's unbelievable. And Jeff Passan just tweeted, Juan Soto has been informed he's being traded to the San Diego Padres. Like, yeah, it's real. It's happening. What was the last guy? Jarlin Susana. I don't know if we've got info on who the last player is going to be just yet. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've never heard of Jarlin Susana. I have no clue who this guy is. He must be a young teenage prospect that they like. Yep, he's 18 years old. He's been pitching in the complex league, and he has been pretty dominant. He's been probably the best pitcher in the complex league, it looks like. So take that for what it is. As an 18-year-old prospect, he's got a long way away. Maybe he's got good stuff. I don't know anything about him. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he's one of the main pieces in this trade, guys, if you're going to give me crap about that one. And then they're still talking about one major league player. Is it going to be Eric Hosmer? I swear to God, if I have to see Eric Hosmer play the Mets more, I'm going to be upset. Although we don't have to see Juan Soto play the Mets as much anymore, which that's okay. I mean, I love getting Juan Soto out of the division because he's one of the best players in the league, right? I'm kind of rambling right now because this trade's absolutely crazy. I'm happy it happened while I was not on the train, that I could actually make this video for you guys and get it out. I'm sure there's not going to be a whole lot of editing in this, so I do apologize, but this one is just more important on getting out there, talking to you guys about one of the most historic trades that has ever happened, about one of the greatest young talents this game has ever seen in Juan Soto. Big question. I want you guys to answer in the comment section below. Maybe it gets answered by the time this video comes out. I don't know. I can't see the future. Will the Padres sign Juan Soto to a contract extension? They have $300 million tied up to Fernando Tatis. They have $300 million tied up to Manny Machado. And you got to pay Juan Soto probably minimum $450, maybe getting even close to $500. Will they be able to sign him to a long-term extension, or is this just going to be play out the rest of your contract and hopefully we can win the World Series a couple times? I'd love to know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. I just can't see them giving $1 billion to 3 players. The Padres owner got it like that? That's like Steve Cohen money we're talking about here. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like on it. It really does help the channel out, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out. I'm going to try and do a trade deadline live stream today. I'm just going to be on the train, so it might be a little bit hectic, might be a little bit crazy, but I don't care. I want to talk trade deadline with you guys, so make sure you sub so you don't miss out. Follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc. Link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through to those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all hopefully later for a trade deadline live stream. Wow, this is stand up San Diego. Great, amazing trade. Amazing pickup.